Hey y'all, I'm in the car, but I keep frickin' forgetting to make this video since yesterday, and so I'm just gonna do it while I'm driving, because it's the only time I have just where I'm not actively doing something. So I just want to talk about this interesting experience that I had where I guess what happened this afternoon kind of compounded it, so it makes sense to share it now too. So the other day I had to get my pap smear, which has been 3 years, so I still have those parts to take care of, so I do. And it's not something that really bothers me necessarily. I've had it done at many different places at this point. But this was the first time I had it done at a quality health center, which is where I have been getting my hormones prescribed since 2019 or so. So I've had the same provider there for the last 5 years. It was right around the middle of COVID times that she started there. So I have a really good rapport with her. I really love seeing her. Whenever I have my annual check-in about my hormones, she and I just end up shooting the shit for half an hour. When I first started seeing her, she was also getting divorced right when I was getting divorced, so we have had a lot of similar kind of experiences. She just found out she's pregnant and due in February, we're pregnant, so we've been kind of on these parallel journeys where I was talking about fertility, she's been talking about her fertility, we're kind of going through the same things. So it's just a place where I can really be myself and be fully who I am, And so I was there for the appointment, and she had a student with her, so the student came in and did the basic kind of rundown beforehand, where you're here for this, tell me your background, that kind of basic stuff. And I never had met this student before because she's pretty new. So it was just I'm so used to right now, really being heavily in the cis het world, where I kind of it's not pretending, but I have just a different mask on when I have to be in that kind of cis het normative world, where I don't feel I'm playing pretend, but I feel I am putting on a little bit of a character, because for safety I can't be just my full kind of self in the world. And I don't want it to sound I'm playing a character. I feel myself in these moments too, but I know that there's parts of me that I keep more hidden when I'm in those situations where people assume that I'm cisgender and heterosexual because, well, I have a pregnant wife and a kid, and all those things where those assumptions could play through, so it was just funny because it's obviously I'm there and this person's talking about me getting a PAP, which very clearly means that I'm not cisgender male. So it was just funny. She left the room and I was oh yeah, I don't have to be in that I found myself remembering that I could code switch back to queerness. I'm always code switched into heteronormativeness to kind of interact with the world, especially at work, all these other cis men, so it's just funny. I was sitting there waiting for them both to come back in for the exam, and I was oh right, I can be more free with what I share and what I say, and it's really on a subconscious level, that I am doing these kind of code switches based on who I'm around, and the same thing happened today. I was meeting with the current manager of Teetotaler, because she was saying, hey, she had reached out to me a little bit ago saying, hey, I really want to bring back drag shows. Can you, tell me how you set them up? All of, she's I never put on events before, but, obviously you did a lot of them. I want to know kind of, can I, pick your brain about how you did things? And so finally I had, a free afternoon. I could stop by there. And it was nice to just, again, be, in that, little bit of a queer bubble where it's oh, I can be, a little more free with myself. I think I just have a natural kind of a lot of people just tend to assume that I'm a gay man because I have a little bit more of a flamboyantness with my mannerisms, I guess you could say. Not like over the top, but it's something that I find myself suppressing more when I'm in like my work role or just kind of like out in public. You know, those are those code switch things where you're like, for safety, I have to be assumed to be cishet in the world. So it's just like really funny to me because it's not like I'm ever consciously like, oh, I'm gonna act cis today, or oh, I'm gonna be trans. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so subconscious and subtle that like I didn't even realize that. I was like, oh yeah, like I can let that wall down and just like be real with these two people in this appointment where everyone knows I'm trans, and like everyone that works there is like very queer or like queer affirming. Most of the people that work there are also queer in some way. So it's just like a little safety bubble. So it was just funny, and then it was kind of like that kind of experience was compounded when I was there, like talking about doing the drag shows and being like, oh, you know, like I do miss doing those. Like I haven't done a show in like 2 years. Like it kind of was like a reminder to me that I was like, oh yeah, I do miss like having this like more queer part of my life. You know, I have a very like heteronormative life from the outside, and yes, Tori and I are both queer, but we are like in a hetero relationship basically. You know. From the outsides and from the insides, like, you know, male-female dynamic. So, yeah, it was just really interesting. I thought I would share, like, I hadn't really, like, thought about it until that moment. And I was like, oh, wow, I do a lot of, like, the code switching. I'm not even, like, conscious of it. So, it was an interesting realization for me. And, like, hopefully, as I can help the manager, Teetotaler, get some more shows going, I can be able to kind of have that expression, that place to express that queerness and be kind of in a little bit of queer community again. So I look forward to that. I hope it comes together. And yeah, those are my thoughts for today. Yeah, I hope you guys are having a good week, and I'll talk to you next time.